Let's be real for a second. You can have the engine of a Ferrari, but if you don't have any fuel in the tank, you aren't going anywhere. That is exactly what human potential looks like without self-assurance. It doesn't matter if you have the IQ of a genius or the wisdom of a scholar. If you let hesitation and anxiety call the shots, you are going to remain a prisoner inside your own head. Think about how many people exist in the shadows right now. They're terrified of speaking up, paralyzed by the fear of judgment, and scared of their own power. Does that sound familiar? I need you to stay with me until the very last second of this video. Why? Because the story I'm about to share isn't just a fable, it's a mirror, and it might just be the catalyst you've been waiting for to finally unlock your future. Picture a vibrant, noisy trading town from the old world. Right in the middle of it, there's a merchant making a living selling fine silks and textiles. Now, this guy had a family to feed and 2 sons. The younger brother? He was a natural, bold, charismatic, charming customers without breaking a sweat. But the elder son, that was a different story. This poor guy was absolutely paralyzed by social anxiety. If you looked him in the eye, he'd look at the floor. If you asked him a question, he'd stutter. The neighbors were cruel, whispering that he was dim-witted just because he was quiet. People took advantage of him constantly, shortchanging him on deals, and he was too terrified to say a word about it. His father? He didn't get it. He was deeply frustrated by his son's passivity and would often berate him in public, which, surprise, surprise, only made the psychological wounds deeper. When adulthood hit, his father insisted he join the family business. Terrified of disappointing his dad, he agreed. But imagine the scene. He's trying to measure cloth, and his hands are shaking so badly he can barely hold the scissors. He couldn't speak above a whisper. Then came the afternoon that changed everything. The father was away meeting a supplier, leaving the son alone. 2 well-dressed men walked in. These guys were pros, smooth talkers, confident. They looked the young man in the eye and said, "The royal palace requires all your finest red silk immediately for the upcoming festival. Your father has already approved the credit." Now, the young man's gut was screaming at him. He felt something was wrong. But his fear of offending these royal guests silenced his intuition. He didn't ask for proof. He didn't stall. He just handed over the entire stock without a single coin changing hands. Sunset comes. The father returns. He walks in to find shelves completely bare and the cash register empty. When the realization hit him, his fury didn't just fill the room, it shook the walls. He screamed, "You are a liability. You have bankrupted my honor and my business. Get out of my house. I never want to see your face again." Can you imagine the weight of that? Devastated by the rejection and crushed by the reality of his mistake, the young man fled. He walked until he couldn't walk anymore, ending up at the edge of a high cliff overlooking a turbulent sea. The guilt was consuming him physically. He whispered to the wind, "I am a burden to everyone. The world is better off without a coward like me." He was ready. He was literally preparing to step off the ledge. But just then, a rough, calloused hand grabbed his shoulder and yanked him back to solid ground. It was an old hermit who lived in the nearby caves. The young man struggled, crying out, "Let me go! My existence is a mistake. I ruin everything I touch." The hermit didn't flinch. He looked at the boy with intense, calm eyes and dropped some serious wisdom. "Listen to me. Life is a singular gift. You don't discard it just because of a bad season. If you choose to live, you can rewrite your story. If you end it now, you just confirm your failure forever. The boy was a mess, weeping openly. I am weak. My own father disowned me. I have no skills. I have no spine. Do I really deserve to breathe the same air as successful men? The hermit nodded gravely, simply saying, "Come to my shelter." He turned and walked away. Confused, desperate, and with nowhere else to go, the boy followed. Back at the cave, the hermit made him a deal. "I possess the cure for your weakness, but there's a catch. You have to obey me for 3 days. Complete 3 challenges, and I promise you will never be the same." Seeing no other option, the young man accepted. Day 1. The hermit didn't waste time. He commanded, "Go to the market square. I want you to approach 10 different merchants. Ask them the price of their most expensive item. You don't need to buy it. Just ask, listen, and say thank you." The boy was terrified. His heart was hammering. He thought everyone would yell at him, but he forced himself to walk up to a fruit seller. His voice cracked. He was sweating, but he got the answer. Then he went to a blacksmith, then a baker. By the 10th person, a realization hit him. No one bit him. No one laughed. He was still alive. Day 2. The hermit upped the stakes. Today, gather a group of travelers and explain to them how to identify real silk from fake. The panic set in immediately. "But I'm a failure. Who on earth is going to listen to me?" The hermit smiled. "They don't know your past, kid. They only know what you show them today. Just share what you know." So, trembling like a leaf, the boy stood on a crate near the road. He stopped a group of tourists. He stammered at first, "Sure," but as he started talking about the texture of silk, a subject he actually knew inside out, his voice grew steady. He knew this stuff. The travelers thanked him for the tip, and suddenly he felt a strange foreign sensation in his chest. Day 3. The hermit delivered the final blow. "Now, you must return to your father's shop and look him in the eye." The boy went pale. "Impossible. He hates me." "If you do not face the source of your pain," the hermit warned, "you will never be free." This was the boss battle. Summoning every ounce of his newfound grit, the boy walked back to the city. He didn't sneak in. He entered the shop, stood tall before his father, and apologized. Not with his head down looking at his shoes, but looking him right in the eye. He offered to work for free until every penny of the debt was paid. The father stopped. He saw a different energy in his son, a posture of dignity he had never seen before. He softened. He agreed to a trial period. The young man returned to the hermit's cave one last time to say goodbye. "Master," he asked, "what was the magic spell you used? How did I change so fast?" The hermit laughed softly. "There was no magic. You discovered the truth yourself. Your enemy wasn't your incompetence. It was your paralysis. The world judges you based on the energy you project. If you walk like a king, people assume you are noble. True confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's acting in spite of it." The young man bowed deeply. "I get it now. I will never let fear hold the pen to my life story again." And he didn't. Years passed, and that timid boy grew into a trade magnate, renowned not just for his wealth, but for his negotiation skills and leadership. So, here is the lesson I want you to take with you today. Confidence is a muscle, not a genetic trait. You aren't born with it. You build it through repetition and exposure. Even the most introverted person can command a room if they learn to trust their own value. Insecurity and doubt? They are just brakes on your progress. Action is the accelerator. The boy believed he was broken, yet all he really needed was to step out of his comfort zone. Remember, perception is reality. Believe in your own worth. Take that first terrifying step, and you will find a reservoir of strength you never knew you possessed. If this story resonated with you, do me a favor. Press that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your interaction helps us reach more people who need to hear this message. Stay strong, keep growing, and I will see you in the next video.